Welcome. I'm so glad you are all here today. We are a few minutes away from beginning this hour of practice on our mats. And for those of you that have been attending in the previous classes, thank you so much for being a part of this. And if this is your first time to one of these classes today, welcome. Again, my name's Michelle, and I see maybe that you got to meet Howie. Now you'll get to meet me on the mat. This is a fantastic day for us. It is really about giving and connecting. So through donations, I'm sure you may have heard, through the donations, we are able to host about 600 classes throughout the year, which is really incredible. And if you were to donate the first $5,000, actually, we are able to match dollar per dollar, which is a huge thing for us and for you as well. It's always great to know that a donation is actually matched. So you can donate, just to recap, you can donate by going to yoga.org and then /donate. So just to let you know that the raffles do not carry over. So if you enter into a raffle and then they have the drawing, it won't continue on throughout, I believe. If I'm mistaken, I apologize. And I do know that the raffles that will be offered after this particular class, there is a $25 gift card to Lululemon at North Hills. Woo-hoo, who wouldn't want that? There is also a custom-made sandbag from Bolstered Yoga Props, which I don't know if you have a sandbag or if you have ever experienced yoga with a sandbag. It is a fantastic addition to any prop that you may have. So that alone, to me, is fantastic. I love the sandbags. And also there is you call this yoga t-shirt from Tyndall Treehouse, which I love my t-shirt, by the way. It fits great. It's lightweight. It's a nice V-neck. And I tell you, Tyndall Treehouse is a local business. So absolutely, it's always great to sport local. And as I had mentioned before, the donations go towards, I should say, the 600 classes that we are able to offer throughout the year, which is phenomenal. And I don't know about you, but yoga has really impacted my world and who I am. And it has given me so much. So I really hope that you consider making that donation if it has impacted you, or maybe made you feel better, or maybe made you feel a part of a community, or maybe you found some healing through the practice. Whatever it may be, think about that as you consider making that donation. So I think we are at the starting time of our class. And so just to give you a quick little rundown about our class, it is a gentle practice where we do not flow per se on our hands through the down dog. We move through a standing position, which is a lot kinder. I like to use blocks, and I think blocks are just one of those props that help to enhance a pose and give us that beautiful alignment that we like to look for or feel in our pose. And really, I think that's about it. So if you have something comfy to sit upon, go ahead and bring that in, and we'll begin in a seated upright pose today. So my legs are crossed. You don't have to cross your legs if you have knee issues. You can always extend your legs out, and as well, bring in those blocks if you'd like to support your knees, or bring in something that offers a little kindness. So as we are here in this nice seated upright pose, let's go ahead and begin with our palms rotated downward, and then just kind of placing them on our knees. This is a beautiful way to get grounded on our mat and just kind of feel connected. So I invite you to take a moment to close your eyes or soften your gaze. And let's arrive on our mat here. And as we have our eyes closed, let's take a moment to connect with our breath. And with this awareness of our breath, I want you to notice, does it feel easy today? Does it feel like it is free flowing today? Or does it feel like there may be some stagnant? Does it feel like it may be a shallow breath? If so, see if you can deepen it. And maybe match those inhales to your exhales to the count of 3 or 4. Then begin to shift your awareness into your physical body. Notice how you feel this grounding sensation through your sits bones. And then take that scan and notice where you may be holding any tension. See if you can soften it by maybe moving, letting go, staying with that beautiful, smooth, easy breath. And as we take our next breath, let's take it together, inhaling through our nose, filling our lungs. Allow your chest to lift, your belly maybe expand, and then a nice big open mouth exhale. Let it go. Exhaling completely and inhaling again through our nose. Let's do it again through our nose, filling up, and an open mouth exhale. And this time, as we inhale through our nose, let's seal our lips, breathing in through our nose. And on the exhale, exhale through our nose, creating that audible sound, that oceanic sound in the back of our throat. Our Ujjayi Pranayama, our meditative breath. And at any point in our practice, if your mind starts to wander back to that to-do list or anything outside of the 4 corners of your mat, return to that breath. It really brings you back and it anchors you onto the mat. And then as we take our next breath, let's begin to bring our palms together at heart center in the mudra of Anjali. And holding with our palms here, if you would like to set an intention for our practice, go ahead and do so now. Just kind of let it surface, whatever that may be in your heart today. And as if you are just sealing it in that heart space, gently press your thumbs into your heart. Let's take another big breath in, lengthening through our spine, reaching through the crown of our head. And on the exhale, let's begin to release our chin to the tips of our fingers, slowly feeling the back of our neck lengthening. Allow your shoulders to be soft here. And then as we inhale our next breath, let's take a sun breath together, blinking open our eyes if they were closed, reaching our hands up towards the sky. Our gaze follows our hands. Separating our hands at the very top, let's rotate our hands outward. And on the exhale, slowly release our hands to the mat as our chin lowers down to our chest. And then rotating our palms back up towards the ceiling. Let's scoop up all this energy today around us, reaching our hands up, our chin lifts, finding length in our side bodies here, and then rotating our palms outward. Let's exhale, lower our hands, releasing our chin down towards our chest. Our shoulders are just awakening. One more time as we reach our hands up towards the sky, our chin lifts, finding that beautiful long side body here. Let's rotate our right hand outward and exhale, lower our right hand down to the mat or perhaps a block beside you. On the inhale, reach through your left fingertips, anchoring through that left sits bone, and on the exhale, let's take that easy lean over towards the right. Feeling this beautiful stretch through our side body here, maybe lowering down to our right elbow. And then on the inhale, let's come back up to center. Nice big breath in, rotating that left palm outward, exhaling, lowering the left hand down to the mat. On the inhale, reach through your right fingertips, and let's take that exhale, lean over to the left. Again, drawing that right sits bone down into the mat, feeling the lengthening through your right side here. And then inhaling, come back up to center, both hands up towards the center, rotating our palms to the front of our mat. And on the exhale, let's take a hinge as we fold forward, placing our hands on the mat. And this is a beautiful way to start to feel our outer hips, rooting through both of our sits bones here. Walk your fingertips maybe a little further away. Take a nice big breath. And on the exhale, slowly release your forehead down towards the mat, but we're not coming in contact with the mat. We're just feeling this as we lengthen through our side bodies and our outer hips. And then slowly, let's walk our hands back up towards us. Let's take a big breath with our arms circling around at the top, bringing our palms together and exhaling, lowering our hands down to our heart space. Perfect. Let's change sides. So if your legs are crossed like mine, uncross and just take a minute, let your knees relax, point and flex your feet just a second here. If your legs are extended, you stay right where you are. And then let's recross. And this time sending the opposite leg forward. So it'll feel a little strange. That's okay. Bring our palms together back at heart center here. On the inhale, we're going to open our arms nice and wide. And as we do so, lift our chin, rotating your thumbs towards the back edge of your mat. Open the heart space. And on the exhale, let's spiral our arms, releasing our chin now towards our chest, feeling that rotation through our shoulders and allowing our shoulders to slide down our back. On the inhale, let's open the heart space again, and this time reach our hands up towards the sky. On the exhale, let's take a twist now towards our right. So as we rotate through our core, placing that left hand maybe on your right knee, right hand is behind for support. On the inhale, let's reach through the crown of our head, rooting through that left sits bone, and exhaling, we hold here. On the inhale this time, as the only thing that moves is our chin. As we inhale, take it to the front of our mat and then slowly over to our left shoulder, where we exhale and release our chin towards our shoulder, feeling this beautiful stretch through the side of our right neck here. You can even lean a little bit more towards the left. And then slowly on the inhale, let's come upright, releasing this left hand and unwind everything like a giant corkscrew. Big breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to spiral our arms one more time, releasing our chin to our chest. Allow your shoulders to slide down. Notice if they want to come up by your ears, slide them down. Inhaling, opening this heart space, reaching our hands up towards the sky. And on the exhale, let's take our twist now towards the left, placing that right hand on our left knee, left hand behind for support. As we inhale, reach through the crown of our head, and again, root through that right sits bone. Holding here. On the exhale. And then slowly as we take our next breath, let's take our chin towards the front edge of our mat and then over to our right shoulder, where we exhale, releasing our chin to our right shoulder. And again, feeling the side of our neck, maybe even a little gentle lean over to the right. Huh. Nice. Let's inhale, come back into center, releasing the right hand. We're going to unwind everything to the center, open the heart space, big breath in. And exhale, spiral our arms, chin to our chest. Inhaling, let's open our arms and reach our hands back up towards the sky, bring our palms together at the very top. And this time, as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands behind our head. So we're bringing our hands back behind our head, just feeling the back of our triceps awaken, maybe our shoulders awakening, hugging those elbows in towards the center here. Our chin stays lifted. We have that long spine. On the inhale, let's reach our hands back up. And then exhale, bending our elbows, placing our hands behind our head, hugging those elbows in towards our ears. If it's uncomfortable, we do what works for us. See if you can soften the shoulders. Inhale, lifting our hands up. And this time on the exhale, let's lower our hands to heart center. Taking a moment right here, let's extend our arms out in front, making fists, holding this beautiful fist here. Release your knuckles down towards the mat, feeling your wrists start to awaken here. And then slowly lifting your hands and then drawing your knuckles up towards the sky. Notice the flexion in your wrist. And then slowly let's release our knuckles one more time down towards the mat. And lifting them up towards the sky. And then slowly just make a circle with your wrist. Notice how that feels. And you can do opposite, one direction, one the other. It really doesn't matter. And then we settle in the center. Let's open our hands, spreading our fingers as wide as we can. Really reach that pinky away from your thumb, active, squeezing them away, stretching, I should say, and then we squeeze our fists together. And let's do that one more time. Open our hands, spreading our fingers, really stretching through our hands, and then closing, making that fist. Beautiful. Let's slowly bring our hands back into our heart space. Nice, and lowering our hands. Let's move into our tabletop. So coming into our tabletop, if you have knee issues, go ahead and bring in that something cushiony underneath your knees, blanket, anything that supports you. I'm on carpet, so it's really okay for me. We're going to move into some cow and cat postures. So with our shoulders stacking over our wrists and our knees underneath our hips. Let's begin taking our first cow together. And as we inhale, begin to release your belly button down towards the mat. And as you do so, see if you can lift your hips and then slowly lift your chin, drawing the heart forward like you're trying to send it through the front of your body here. Lifting your gaze. And on the exhale, let's move into that cat pose, drawing the belly button into our spine. Press through your palms as you round into your spine. Feel that spreading into your shoulders, that separating. It's almost like a gentle massage. Chin towards our chest. And let's move through our cow again. Lowering our belly buttons, opening our heart space, chin lift. See if you can lift your gaze. Notice how you start to feel that a little deeper into the front body. And exhaling, let's move into that cat pose. Press through your palms, even the tops of your feet if they're on the mat. Rounding into this. And one more time, let's take our cow as we lift our chin, lower our belly button down towards the mat, opening that heart space. And exhale, round into your cat. Press through your palms. Ooh, feel your shoulders here. And then slowly, let's come into that neutral spine. Everything nice and stacked here. Hands under our shoulders. And on the inhale, we're going to move into the lower half by beginning with our right leg. Let's extend it nice and long behind us. Dial the toes down towards the mat. So if you may notice if you're going out to the side, see if you can rotate your toes downward. And let's lift and lower our right leg, just awakening that right leg. And then slowly lowering our toes completely down to the mat here. Let's begin to shift our weight into that right heel. So really press through the right heel, feeling the lengthening of the back of your right leg. Actively, our front right quad is. Let's shift forward into our wrist. And then we're going to shift back into that right heel. Press through the right heel. Feel the lengthening. Whew. And then shift forward into our wrists. And then slowly coming into the neutral spine with our right leg nice and long behind us. Let's inhale and lift our right leg. On the exhale, we're going to draw the right knee into our chest as we round into this, our chin towards our right knee, just bringing that awareness into our right hip flexor. Inhale, let's extend and lengthen. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Feel this long line of energy heal to the crown of your head. And exhale, let's draw it in, chin towards our right knee. We don't have to make that connection. It's just feeling the right hip flexor as well as our spine. Inhaling, let's lengthen here. And then slowly, let's bend the right knee. As we bend our right knee, go ahead and point the right toes. We're going to challenge ourselves today by popping up onto our left fingertips. And as we do so, our core immediately becomes engaged. And slowly, let's lift our left hand out in front. Our left thumb is pointing up towards the sky here. And we're just going to hold this. Those that want more of a challenge, you can sweep the left hand back to your right foot and see if you can make that connection. Otherwise, we're going to hold right here for the count of 3, 2, and 1. Lowering the left hand, right knee down to the mat. Take a moment, come down to your elbows. Release your wrists. Allow your hands to move as needed. So maybe that's opening, closing your hands, or just kind of bringing that motion that feels right to you. And then let's come back into our tabletop and take this on our left side, always making sure we take note of how we feel and always listening in. So if I'm doing anything that doesn't feel right to you today, always opt out or modify. Let's begin with our left leg. As we inhale, send the left leg nice and long. And again, we're going to dial those toes down towards the mat, taking a moment to lift and lower the left leg. I love to do this. It's just saying, hey, let's awaken here. Let's bring some movement. And then slowly lowering our toes to the mat, stacking that heel over our toes so they're not sickling in or out. Let's begin to press through our left heel as we shift our weight into that extended leg. Really feel the lengthening up the back of our left leg. And then we slowly shift forward into our wrists, feeling that deeper flexion. And then one more time, we shift back into that extended leg, press through the left heel, and then shifting forward into our wrist. One more time here. And then coming into our neutral spine, shoulders again, stacking over our wrists. Let's inhale, lift the left leg nice and long behind us. Finding that nice line of energy, reach through the crown of your head, press through the left heel. And then on the exhale, let's slowly draw the left knee into our chest as our chin rounds in towards our left knee. We're feeling this in our spine. Press through your palms like you would in that cat pose. Let's inhale, extend and lengthen here. Reach through the crown of your head. Beautiful line here. And exhale, we round into it, feeling that again. Into our left hip flexor. Inhale, let's extend right here. We're going to hold steady as we bend the left knee and go ahead and point those toes up towards the sky. Engaging the core right here, we start to ignite that little bit of fire within. As we do so, we're going to pop up onto those right fingertips and then slowly extend the right arm out in front. Your right thumb directed up towards the sky here. Nice long reach. And those that want that more of a challenge, you can sweep the left hand or right hand back to your left foot. Those that are with me right here, we're going to hold to the count of 3, 2, and 1. Lowering our right hand to the mat, left knee comes down. Take a moment, let's shift our hips back, allowing our wrists to release. Move them, make circles, open, close your hands. And then slowly we're going to extend our arms out in front like we're in child's pose, but not really quite. Our knees aren't so far. And we're just going to shift forward. And as we do so, we may have to slide our knees back so that we can come into this modified plank, if you will. Our core is at this lovely angle here. And then we're slowly going to lower all the way down onto our bellies here. I'll move my blocks out of your sight here. With our hands by our chest, let's move into our Cobra by pressing through our palms and lifting our hearts here. Maybe our shoulders roll back. See if you can create that long neck, allowing your shoulders to slide down your back instead of up by your ears. And exhaling, let's lower down. And then walking our hands off the mat to the left and to the right, placing maybe just our fingertips right here on the mat or on the floor or carpet. Our elbows are up towards the sky here. We're going to press through our fingertips and take this wide armed cobra, if you will. As we press through our fingertips, we're lifting the heart. Maybe our arms straighten, maybe they don't. That's totally fine. Right here, feeling this nice opening in our front body, and on the exhale, we're slowly lowering down. And again, walking our hands back by our chest. Let's move through that cobra one more time, pressing through our palms. Lift the heart, roll the shoulders up and back, opening here. And exhale, lowering down to the mat. And this time we're going to shift back into a child's pose just for a moment as we press through our palms, shift our hips back, come into that child's pose. So our knees may have to adjust. Taking a moment here to release our back after that cobra pose, feeling a little lengthening happening through our side bodies here. Big breath in. And open mouth, exhale. Perfect. And then slowly from here, we're going to move into our tabletop. And from our tabletop, we're moving into our one and only down dog. So if down dog is not in your practice, that's totally fine. Meet us at the front of the mat will be in a full fold. So keeping your blocks handy or nearby. Those that want to move to a down dog with me, let's begin with tucking our toes. And as we tuck our toes, we're going to press through our palms, lifting our hips and keeping our knees generous as needed.
Hi.
Lifting our hips, coming into that nice down dog, taking a moment here, pedaling our feet out. Or maybe rock your hips to the left and to the right. And just kind of feeling this down dog. I like to also think about the energy that we're drawing up through our hands. We're drawing the energy up through our hands. We're also drawing it up through our feet. Your feet do not have to come completely in contact with the mat as well. Feeling this nice grounding sensation here. Take a big breath in and a nice breath out. And then let's begin to bend our knees. If your knees are straight, bending our knees, we're going to walk our feet up towards our hands at the front edge of our mat, taking our feet just outside of our hip width here. Let's come into that full fold where our chest is able to release down towards our thighs. You can bend your knees and kind of just place your chest along on your thighs here. Let your head be heavy and just kind of sway, feeling this inversion just for a moment. And then slowly, let's heel toe our feet a little closer. So they're underneath our hips at this point. And maybe finding that block that might support us. While we're here, let's slowly place that right hand on the block or the mat, whichever works for you. And while here, we're going to bend that right knee. And as we do so, we're pressing into that right palm so that we can slowly peel this left hand up off the mat and take a nice open twist here, reaching all the way up. Feels glorious right here. And exhaling, lowering our left hand, changing hands, changing sides. Let's bend the left knee, press through the left palm, and on the inhale, begin to peel the right hand up, opening that heart space. Reach the right hand up towards the sky. And exhale, let's lower our right hand down, moving the block off to the side just for a moment so that we are able to root through our feet, the root to rise here, rooting in. Let's slowly rise on up, taking that reverse swan dive as we reach our hands all the way up towards the sky, bringing our palms together at the top, and then exhaling hands down to our heart space here. And then slowly, let's lower our arms down by our sides, coming into that full Tadasana. Our hands are by our sides, our palms are rotated forward. And we're just gonna feel this energy as we draw the energy up through the soles of our feet. I want you to focus on that, feeling the four corners of your feet, and then feel the energy as it travels up the front of your body. your quads lift off of your knees. So this is an active pose here. Notice as the energy flows up the front, and as it does so, you'll notice your heart kind of lifts, and then your chin, begin to lift your chin just so that it's level, at a normal level, not down, not up, just level, feeling this energy as it lifts your chin to level. And you'll notice your shoulders feel like they're a little more open here, and the energy flows over the top of our head and then down our back. And as it flows down our back, we're feeling this more grounding sensation through the back of our body, this opening through the front here, taking a nice big breath in and a nice breath out. Perfect. And let's move with our breath through our flow. So as we inhale, let's sweep our arms up towards the sky, reaching up, hands lifting, gaze maybe lifts, and on the exhale, let's take that full fold. So we're going to hinge from our hips, taking this nice fold. You can bring your hands through heart center or take them wide. And as we hinge from our hips, we're folding Uttanasana here. On the inhale, let's come into our half lift, placing our hands on our shins or our thighs, lifting our heart here, lengthening through our spine, reaching your hips towards the back edge of your mat. And we're going to stay right here for a couple more on the exhale. We're going to fold and hinge again. Maybe see if your knees can straighten a little bit more. On the inhale, let's take that half lift again, pressing our palms where they support us, maybe even on blocks if that feels great. Exhale, let's fold one more time. Inhale, let's take that half lift. Perfect. And exhale, let's fold. Rooting into our feet. Let's slowly rise back up, taking a nice big circle with our arms, palms together at the top, and exhale, hands down to our heart space. Perfect. So we're going to be adding on. Let's move this time a little faster. We won't repeat the half lifts. Inhale, hands reach up. And exhale, we fold. Hinging from our hips, how we surrender. Inhale to that half lift. Long spine. And on the exhale, we're folding. And as we fold, let's take a moment. We're going to bend our knees, and our hands can be placed on blocks or the mat. And as we bend our knees, we're going to step the left foot back. Stepping the left foot back, let's spiral the left heel down. And as we spiral that left heel down, we're in this nice high lunge. See if you can lift your chest from your right thigh. A lot of times our chest wants to release down to our thigh, and we kind of collapse into this pose. This is a really active pose, so see if you can draw that right hip back, squeeze your inner thighs. Nice big breath right here. And then slowly we're going to walk our hands all the way around. And as we walk our hands, our feet come with us. So both feet are now parallel to the sides of our mat. And I'm going to turn to face you. Our feet are parallel, and we're in this full fold. Our right knee is straight. Our left knee is straight. You can always bring in that block to support you right here. Nice, feeling the crown of your head. As it draws down, notice the shift in how you feel this in your legs, your hips, your inner thighs. And then slowly from here, let's walk our hands out in front, walking them away from us. And it feels like a little crazy in our chest. It almost feels like we're going to take a down dog right here. Let's slowly shift our shoulders over our wrists. So now we're stacking like we were on our tabletop. And then slowly we're going to float our heels up, lifting our heels, come high on our toes. And then slowly let's float our heels down, but we're going to bring them towards the center of the mat and our toes going out to the corners. So we're setting up right here. Let's bend our knees almost into this little crouching pose and then walk our hands back. And then as we walk our hands back, see we're in this crouching pose. Let's place our right hand on our right thigh, left hand on our left thigh, and slowly pressing our palms so that we are able to lift our chest. We come into this goddess pose, if you will. Perfect. Staying nice and strong here as we are here. I want you to draw the the pelvic or the pubic bone up towards your rib cage. And as you do so, you'll shorten that space and your tailbone will release down towards the mat, which allows a little bit more length here in the spine. Perfect. Let's begin to straighten our legs. And as we do so, let's sweep our arms up, coming into this big star pose, extending our fingers nice and wide. And then exhaling, let's bend our knees. And we're going to sweep our arms in front and then wrap them around us. Nice. Inhale, straightening our knees. Arms go nice and wide. Reaching up. Take that big star pose. Take up all the space. And exhale, bending our knees, sweeping our arms across and wrapping them around again. And then we'll move through this one more time. Inhale, straightening our legs. We sweep our hands up and exhale into that goddess pose, arms wrapping around. Inhale, we're straightening our legs, our arms reaching up. And this time, the only thing moving really is our toes as we direct our right toes to the front edge of our mat and our back foot becomes parallel. Our hips stay where they were and we arrive in that warrior two, allowing our shoulders to soften. Notice if your left hip wants to come forward, see if you can draw it back, keeping that nice open area in the front here. And nice. Take another full round of breath. Inhaling and exhale. Perfect. Let's rotate the left palm up towards the sky. And then we're going to windmill this left arm up and over. And as we do so, we're going to frame our right foot with our hands, maybe on blocks, maybe on the mat. But while we're here, our left heel lifts. So we're pivoting onto our left toes. While here, I want you to shift your focus into that right foot, really strong here. So we are able to step the left foot to meet our right. And as we do so, let's take that half lift. Inhaling, lift your chest. And exhale, let's fold. Rooting into our feet, let's rise, root to rise, arms reaching all the way up, palms together at the top, exhaling, hands down to our heart space. Check in. Notice, how does your right side feel? How does your left? Kind of crooked, right? We're going to bring in some balance right here. So as we inhale, let's sweep our arms up. We're going to repeat this on the left side. And exhale, let's take our swan dive down towards the mat. Exhaling, we fold. Inhale, let's come to that half lift, bringing our hands where they support us. And on the exhale, let's fold. So bending our knees, placing our hands maybe on blocks or the mat. And as we bend our knees, we're going to step the right foot back, stepping the right foot back. We're slowly going to spiral the right heel down. And then from here, notice again, how does your chest feel? Are you collapsing into this? Are you resting your chest on your left thigh? See if you can lift it, almost like you're trying to create a little space, if you will, through your core and your left thigh. And then slowly from here, we're going to walk our hands back into that wide forward fold. And our feet come with us so they're both parallel to the sides of our mat. So as we are here, see if you can start to straighten your legs a little more. Lift your sits bones up towards the sky a little bit more. Nice big breath and a breath out. And then slowly let's walk our hands away from us. So we're shifting them forward. And then we shift our shoulders over our wrists. And again, that's that weird feeling here. We feel like we're going to do a push-up or something. And then slowly, let's float our heels up. So we're lifting our heels and then slowly bringing them towards the center of our mat. We float our heels down. Our toes are to the corners of our mat. And then we just start to bend our knees. And as we bend our knees, we walk our hands back towards us. Taking our left hand, let's place it on our left thigh. And our right hand onto our right thigh. And by pressing our palms into our thighs, we lift our chest. We're into that goddess pose. Taking a moment here, feeling this pose. Notice how this shifts into the front inner thighs here. And then slowly, let's take that beautiful star pose, straightening our legs, our arms reach up. Take out all the space you need. And exhale, let's sweep our arms in front, bending our knees. Inhale, straightening our legs, arms reach up. And exhale, sweeping them in front again. Inhale, straightening our legs, hands reach up, big star pose, and exhale one more time. Inhale, let's come into that star pose, reaching our hands up, and on the exhale, we're exhaling into our warrior two. So our left toes move to the short edge of our mat. Our right foot makes that little adjustment. Our hips really stay where they are. And when you're ready, we add the arms, sending them out from our heart space. Shoulders are soft. We have arrived. Let's take 2 full rounds of breath right here. Inhaling and exhaling. One more big breath. And exhale. Rotating the right palm up towards the sky. We're going to sweep our right hand all the way up and over as we frame our left foot with our hands, pivoting onto our right toes. So we're in that kind of high lunge, but we're prepared so that we root into this left foot, feeling really strong. Rooting into the left foot, we step our right foot beside our left, nice and strong. Let's inhale to our half lift, finding the long spine. And exhale, we fold. Rooting into our feet, let's inhale, we rise. Arms circle nice and wide. Hands reach to the sky, palms together. And exhaling, hands down to our heart space. Perfect. Take a moment, check in. Notice how you feel. Maybe wiggle your knees. Let it settle. Nice, and we're going to move through this a little faster and then add on. So let's move with our breath. Inhale, hands reach up, big reaching, and on the exhale, let's fold, hinging from our hips. Inhale to that half lift, and exhale, we fold. Bending our knees, finding that place that supports us, whether it's blocks or on the mat, slowly stepping our left foot back. We're going to change it up just a little bit. So we're in this high lunge, hands on the block, placing that left hand where it really supports us. On the inhale, we're going to peel the right hand up, taking that open twist as we reach our hand up towards the sky. And exhale, we lower our right hand down to the mat, feeling really strong here. Our chest is lifted. Let's spiral the left heel down. And then slowly we walk our blocks or our hands around to that nice forward fold where we straighten both knees. Feet are parallel to the edges of our mat. And then slowly let's walk our hands forward. Taking them away from us. Let's shift our shoulders over our wrists. And then slowly lifting both heels and exhaling. We float our heels down to the mat where our toes go out to the corners of the mat. And then bending our knees. Let's walk our hands back towards us. Right hand to our right thigh, left hand to our left thigh. Let's move here as we straighten our knees, hands sweep up, coming into that star pose. And exhale, bending our knees, wrapping our arms around us. Inhale, let's lift, straightening, take up all that space. And exhale. Inhale, lifting, star pose, and exhaling. This time as we inhale, let's take up all that space. And exhale into our warrior two on the right. So our right foot redirects, so our toes are to the short edge of our mat. Our back foot shifts so it's parallel. Arms reaching out from our heart space. And this time we're going to float the right heel as we lift our right heel. Slowly direct the right knee a little more towards the right corner of your mat. So you'll start to feel a little deeper stretch through your inner right thigh. And then we lower that right heel down. Perfect. Let's take a moment here. We're going to reach our right hand forward, reaching it way forward. Perfect. And then slowly straightening the right knee. Whoa. Let's take Trikanasana, slowly releasing the right hand, maybe down to your right shin, your right thigh, or a right block. Let's place our left, or slowly lift our left hand up towards the sky. So we're in our triangle pose. You want to stack your left wrist as best you can over the right. So you get this nice line of energy. And I love a block here because it allows me to open my left shoulder a little bit more. So see how this feels. Being careful not to lock that right knee. A lot of times we get in this pose and we all of a sudden lock the right knee. And you also want to see if you can create the same length on both sides of your body, so we're not really rounding into it. We want to still have that nice line of energy through our side bodies as well. And then slowly we're going to press through the right toes, and we're going to take that reverse triangle. So really strong here. We're going to windmill this right arm up and over, coming into that reverse triangle. Right hand reaches up and over, feeling this glorious side body stretch. Perfect. And then slowly let's return back to our warrior two as we rebend the right knee. And then slowly we're going to take our left hand and we're going to sweep it to the front edge of our mat. And as we do so, our left heel starts to lift. So now we're in this crescent pose, modified, if you will. And you might feel unsteady like me. So we just adjust our feet. Maybe we step it in a little bit. But now our hips are both pointing towards the short edge of our mat. And as we are doing so, our hands reach out from our heart space here, and then bring our hands together, palms together, just like we did at the beginning of the class where we bent our elbows. We're going to slowly start to sweep our hands down towards our right thigh, placing our left back hand onto the outer edge of our right thigh. And then slowly our right hand continues on this journey where we reach it back to our left heel, and we're coming to this open twist. Our right fingertips reaching back. And if we feel wobbly, that's okay. It's only yoga. So we're opening here in this beautiful twist. Nice. Take a big breath here. Nice breath out. And then slowly from here, we're going to windmill our left arm up, right arm goes with it. So we're kind of making this big sensation. The left heel comes back down. We're back to our warrior two. Perfect. And then rotating that left palm up towards the sky. Let's cartwheel our hands down to the mat, framing the right foot with our hands, placing it on the mat or blocks, whatever works for us today, rooting into that right foot so we're really strong and able to step the left foot to meet the right. On the inhale, let's take our half lift, and exhale, let's fold. Rooting into our feet, let's rise, arms go wide, hands reach to the sky, palms together, and exhale, hands down to our heart space. Taking a moment, notice how you feel. Left and right. One side may feel really stretched, really strong. Now you feel out of balance. Let's create some balance here. Inhale, arms go wide. We reach up. And exhale, let's fold. Take that full fold, hinging from our hips. Inhale to our half lift. And exhale, let's fold, placing our hands maybe on a block as we bend our knees so that we can step the right foot back. And as we step our right foot back, our right hand is on the mat or a block, and we're nice and firm and planted here. So we're not wobbly here. Our right heel is lifted, and then slowly we're going to peel the left hand up, and we're taking that open twist here. As we reach our left arm up, feel this beautiful twist happening. And then exhale, let's lower our left hand down to the mat, to the blocks. And we're going to walk our hands back into that forward fold. So our feet go with us and we're folding right here. See if you can lift your sits bones a little higher. Maybe see if you can straighten your legs a little bit more. Doesn't have to, just things to think about. And then slowly, let's walk our hands away from us. Placing our palms on the mat where they're nice and firm, let's shift our shoulders over our wrists. And then slowly we're going to float the heels up, lifting them, and then float them down, bringing them towards the center of the mat. Our toes are to the corners. And then bending our knees in that crouching pose, let's walk our hands back, placing our left hand on our left thigh, right hand on our right thigh. Nice. And then slowly lifting the heart, coming into that goddess pose right here. And then slowly, let's move into our star pose, straightening our legs, sweeping our arms up. And exhaling, let's come back, bending our knees, arms wrap around. Inhale, we straighten and lift. And exhale, sweep in front. Inhale, straighten and lift. And exhale, one last time. Inhale, we straighten and lift. And exhale, let's take that warrior two on the left. So again, the only thing really moving is our feet. Our hips stay to the center. Our back foot is parallel. And when we're ready, we send the arms out from our heart space here. And taking a moment, let's lift the left heel up. We're floating the left heel up, coming high on our toes. And then open the left knee a little bit more towards the left corner of your mat. And then lower the left heel. So you feel this again, a deeper stretch into your inner thighs here. Nice. Taking a big breath in and a nice breath out. And then slowly, we're going to start reaching forward, like we're reaching into the future here. And then slowly, let's straighten the left knee as we release our left hand down towards the block or the left shin. And our right hand reaches up towards the sky. So we come into our Trikanasana, stacking our shoulders on top of each other, reaching through our fingertips. You have that nice line of energy. Notice if you start to feel a collapse through your side body, that's okay. We just come out of it a little bit more. Perfect. And then slowly from here, we're going to root into those left toes, really strong here. As we root through them, we're going to press and reach our left hand up and over for that reverse triangle, sweeping it all the way up and then taking it overhead. Notice how your left side body feels. Big, beautiful side body stretch. And then exhale, let's come back to our warrior two. Sinking a little deeper, perhaps. And then slowly, we're going to take our right hand and we're going to sweep it to the front. And as we sweep our right hand to the front, our right heel starts to lift. So we're pivoting onto the right toes. And if you feel unsteady, we just kind of adjust. We spread our feet a little wider, so they're almost like on train tracks here. Both hands reaching out from the front here, hips towards the short edge of your mat. Big breath in. Nice breath out. And then bringing our palms together here. Let's slowly lower our hands down to our left thigh. Our right hand on the back of our right hand to the outer edge of your left thigh. And we just leave it right here. And then our left hand continues on this journey where it reaches back to our right heel. And we come into this open twist. Nice big breath in. Big breath out. And then slowly, our left hand comes back. As it comes back to the front, our right hand lifts up and over, and we lower the right heel. We come into our warrior two. There's a whole lot to think about as we move through that, right? And then slowly, let's rotate that right palm up towards the sky. And then slowly, let's windmill it up and over so that we're framing the left foot with our hands. Our right heel lifts. We're rooting into that left foot here, and then slowly step your right foot to meet your left. Inhale, let's come to our half lift. And exhale, we fold. Rooting into our feet, let's rise on up, arms circle wide, palms together at the very top. And exhale, hands down to our heart space. Close your eyes, check in. Left versus right. Do you feel balanced? Rooting into our feet. Take another breath in. And on the exhale, let's release our hands down by our sides, coming into our Tadasana, where we can feel our body in its full grace right here. And then slowly from here, we're going to shift into a little bit of balance work. So finding those blocks. If you have one, that's fine. If you have two, that's great. No big deal. We have one. We're going to start with the block and we're going to place it on the outer edge of our right foot. So placing it on the outer edge, if you have 2 blocks, you can place them on the outer edge of both feet. So it doesn't really matter. We're just gonna move it if we only have one. So we're moving into Garuda. And Garuda is one of those poses that's very challenging as far as finding the balance, as well as feeling the connection in that wrapping around, that squeezing of energy. So let's just kind of explore this pose. We're going to start with our right foot, really rooting into it, and give that right knee a soft little gentle bend. So you want to feel lightness, right? And then slowly our left knee lifts. And we cross it over the right, and we lower our left toes right onto that block where it provides a little support here. And with our arms, we're going to extend them out in front. And as we have them out in front, we're going to cross the right arm over the left, bending our elbows and bringing our hands back to back, or placing your hands on your shoulders, or placing your palms together, whatever feels okay in your body. If you have your hands placed on your shoulders, I love this because it actually allows us to remind us to keep our shoulders from creeping up around our ears. If you have your hands back to back, see if you can bring your elbows parallel to your shoulders. So we're going to squeeze our inner thighs together, almost like we're wringing out, squeezing at the same time as you squeeze, it's pulling apart. So you have this push and pull, gives that steady. And the more you sink into that right knee, the more you might find a little ease. Perfect. And then slowly, let's unwind our arms, begin to straighten the right knee, and then lift the left and lower the left foot. And then take a moment and feel the surge of energy, the rush of blood as you feel this pose. Nice. Take a nice breath. We're going to take this on the left side. So let's root through that left foot. And again, they're bringing that softness in our left knee. Let's lift the right knee and then cross it over the left and lower the right toes to the block. And then sending our arms out in front here. Let's cross the left over the right this time. Bending our elbows. And again, bring our hands back to back. We're placing our hands on our shoulders. You can also bring your hands palm to palm. Whatever works for you. This side may feel totally different. That's okay. So while we're here, we're going to squeeze those inner thighs together at the same time, like we're pulling them apart. So it's this really active pose, squeezing, wringing everything out, holding here, finding that balance. Let our shoulders soften. Perfect. And then slowly as we come out, let's release our arms, straightening the left leg, lifting the right knee and lowering right foot to the mat. And again, feel the rush of energy, the surge. Big breath in and a nice breath out. Let's come on down to our mats. So coming on down, finding our way. I'm going to face you. So as we come down to our mats, let's extend both legs out front. And then slowly let's flex those toes up towards the sky. So we're really active in our legs. This is almost our half lift right here. So we're pressing our legs into the mat, our feet are flexed, and then taking our hands, we're just going to slowly walk them forward. But I want you to only walk to where your spine stays nice and long. So if you feel this all of a sudden rounding, we just stop. We're just going to feel the backs of our legs as we keep our chest lifted, root through the sits bones right here. Nice big breath. Feel this lengthening up the backs of our legs. And letting it go as we come upright. And then bending that right knee. Let's come into Ujjayi Pranayama. So bending the right knee, placing the right sole of our foot to the inner left thigh. And if this is too much, we either don't do it, we move where it feels okay, and we also bring in our blocks to support our knee as needed. So with our right foot pressing on the inner left thigh, take your right hand, or we're just going to slide it down the outer edge of our left leg. And as we slide it down, you'll start to feel this rotation through your core. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. So we're sliding it down, we're twisting through our core, we're feeling this maybe in your outer right hip. Allow your left hand to go back behind so we feel this deeper stretch. And maybe your right hand comes to the outer edge of your left foot. Just taking a minute here. Nice twist. Perfect. And then slowly, as we come up, this is a fun move. Place your right hand on the mat. We're going to shift our weight into that right shin. And as we do so, we're going to lift our hips. So it's this, I call it a rock star. So we're going to shift our weight into that right shin, lift our hips, and then we're going to lift the left arm up. And you can send it overhead like a giant rainbow, or you can reach for the stars. And then slowly lowering our hips down to the mat. We're just going to change sides. So extending the right leg long, drawing the left knee in or left sole of your foot to the inside of your right thigh. And again, using blocks, whatever supports you, whatever makes you feel comfortable here. Taking your right hand, let's place it behind, and then slowly slide this left hand down the outer edge of your right leg, only to where it feels like, okay, that's enough, right? So we never want to push ourselves to where we're uncomfortable, feeling this nice twisting half fold. Deep breath. And breath out. And then slowly, let's come up, right? Placing the left hand on the mat. We're going to shift our weight into that left shin as we lift our hips and come into that rock star. We'll sweep our right arm overhead or reach for the stars. And then slowly lowering our hips down to the mat. Let's extend both legs or bend both knees, I should say, so we can come all the way down onto our backs, moving blocks out of the way, all the way down. Draw your knees into your chest. Feel the mat beneath your spine. Feel the weight of your hips. And then from here, we're going to take supine pigeon by lowering our left foot to the mat and just extend the right leg up towards the sky. Bending the right knee and placing that right ankle on your left knee. Flex the right toes towards your right knee. And you may stay right here, or if you'd like to experience a little deeper, thread your right hand through that little triangle space and interlace your fingers behind your left thigh or your left shin. We're just going to take a nice big breath here. And a breath out. Perfect. And then slowly lowering our left foot, if it was lifted, to the mat. Crossing our right leg completely over the left. Let's tee our arms out from our shoulders. And then slowly, let's float our knees over to the left. And as we float our knees over to the left, your right hip lifts. And see if your right shoulder can stay somewhat grounded, or at least drawing down towards the earth. Our chin stays skyward. And then slowly, let's bring our knees back into center. Uncrossing the right leg, and we're just going to change sides. Right sole to the mat, left leg extends, and then bending the left knee, placing that left ankle on your right knee. Flex through your left foot, so you're drawing the toes back towards your left knee, kind of protects that knee. And you may stay right here, or thread your hands and interlace them behind your right thigh or your right shin, whatever feels best for you. Taking that big breath in and a breath out. Let's lower our right foot, if it was lifted, to the mat, crossing the left leg completely over the right and extending our arms out from our heart space. Let's begin to float our knees now over to the right side, taking that nice twisted root pose. Our left shoulder is heavy as it's drawing down to the earth. Nice big breath here. And a nice breath out. And then slowly bringing our knees back into center. Let's uncross our legs and take that half happy baby by placing our hands to the insides of our feet or the outer edge of our feet, drawing our knees down towards the mat on either side. And then we slowly bring our feet together, our knees together. Let's take Trikanasana by wrapping our arms around our shins and squeezing out every little bit of energy right here. And then slowly releasing, sending our legs long and our arms, taking up all the space we need, coming into our Shavasana. And with our eyes closed, we begin that physical scan, starting at our feet, allowing our heels to get heavy and our calves and thighs, let them release. Your hips, allow them to sink into the mat. And your spine, one vertebrae at a time, slowly connects and feels the support of the mat. And your shoulders are open. Your arms are weighted. And your eyes, they hold no focus behind your eyelids. Shavasana.